Yeah, and welcome to another video. I'm Brett Papa, and today, my goodness freaking gracious, wow. My buddy Jeff Mackerlane called me up the other day and he's like, bro, you gotta check out this pedal. I'm like, yeah, just what I need, another drive pedal. And he's like, no, seriously, you gotta check this thing out. And I was like, oh, okay, I'll check it out. And so I had one sent out to me, and my goodness gracious. So the Nordvang 83 drive, I think it's pronounced Nordvang, looks like Nordvang. And if I'm butchering your name, I am so sorry. You make the best pedal ever. Sorry, I'm not worthy. But anyways, 83 drive, so sick. Like, just like, every day I start playing it, I'm like, oh my God, this is like my favorite pedal of all time, I think. So before I go on and on about just the pedal by itself, one of the things I wanted to impart in this particular demo is how well it works with other drives, right? So it's got a boost and a drive already, but it sounds so good when you combine it with other drive pedals as well. Now, the key to doing this is keeping all the gains really low, right? So you don't get some just cacophony of just hiss and just pissed off, sounding like arc welding when you're not playing. You got to keep everything pretty low, but man, it's good. So anyways, before we get into the demo itself, I'm going through two different amps today. I'm going to play one at a time. I have a 1974 Marshall JMP, awesome amp, you know, typical Marshall awesome sound, going into an aux back there. 412 cabinet, and I think I have it like set on like a 57 and a ribbon, like a 160 or something like that in the 412 punch cab. And then I have a divided by 13 CJ11 on top, which is like a kind of like a Tweed Deluxe kind of a sound, right? So it's more of that Tweed Fender kind of an amp. That is going into a 112, it's called like the Black DX cab, I think, with the same mics on it as well. And then I'm gonna have a little reverb and post, maybe a little delay. I usually use like the Sunset Sound reverb or whatever. So maybe like an Echoplex of some sort for delay. But that's the basic, you know, setup going into an Apollo with Neves. Yeah, it sounds like a lot. It is, but this is just how I run stuff. I try to set it up like it's a recording studio. Okay, so anyways, all that being said, the amps themselves, I'm gonna set the Marshall dirtier, right? And so you can see how it sounds with a distorted kind of an amp sound. And then I'll set the CJ11 a little bit cleaner, so it's more of a pedal platform. Now, both are gonna have a little gain and the Marshall's gonna have more gain, but I always like to use a little bit of gain. There's plenty of great demos out there of this pedal that are just pristine, clean amps and the pedal's going. That's never how I use a pedal. So whenever you see a demo here, I'm gonna play it as if I was using it and how I would use it in the real world. And that's always with a little bit of gain. Okay, so all that being said, straight up Marshall tone, here we go. All right, and give me 1 second and I'll switch to the CJ11. Okay, so again, this is a divided by 13 CJ11 Tweed style amp. Here's that by itself. All right, I can turn back the gain a little bit. Okay. So right off the bat, great pedal platform style amp. Love gigging with this amp. Such a cool little 10 watt or 11 watt amp. Great with pedals. So it gets that nice, it already has a mid-range sound to it. So when we add this pedal, it's even better because inherently the side I use the most on this pedal, there's two different sides to the pedal, right? One, this side over here is gonna be a Klon style circuit. Now the little ninja switch over there, the clipping lets you switch between two diode characteristics. I forget like the top one. It's like a Schwepper or Schwant. I don't know what it's called. And then the bottom one is more of like a germanium. And I typically stay in the bottom mode. So that in and of itself is just awesome. Sounds so good, right? So we got. Right, so that right there could be a lead tone, right? I could totally get by with playing leads on that particular setting, right? Or it's great for a good like pushed rhythm sound, right? I could back off my volume and really play around with it a lot and just get plenty of variance of tone and gain or output just with the volume knob on the guitar, right? So you could just set it and forget it and just use this as your, varying amounts of gain, right? So it's one of the things I love is you can keep your rig really simple. All right, with it. So it's just a little bit of adds a little bit more mid-range, right? Which is great for just poking out a little bit. So you could set the pedal, for just a little bit. And when you want to be heard a little bit more and a little more out front, maybe you got some fills in your rhythm playing or something you want to poke out a little bit, perfect for that, right? Now, the cool thing is there's also another side to the pedal, which is like a blues breaker kind of a circuit, right? So check it out. I mean, it'll get totally gainy, right? So if I turn up the gain. Right? Great gain pedal. But again, like I said, I don't like to run too much gain because I like to use it with other pedals. Now, on this side, there's another switch and it goes kind of like it takes out more lows or add more lows into it. And then inside the actual pedal, there's also a number of, clipping modes that you can go through. The pedal is ridiculous. Like it's super, super, super diverse. You can get a ton of different sounds out of it. You can, if you're a tweaker, you can get inside the pedal and really adjust things and really customize it and tailor it to your own liking. I liked it right out of the box. I haven't even messed with the stuff on the inside. I'm like, I'm already sold. This thing already sounds amazing. So I started putting some other drive pedals back on my board, because I'm doing a lot of jam tracks and stuff like that. And I wanted to see how it reacted with other pedals, right? So on this particular board, I have the 83 drive first, and then there's a Wampler it's a bell pedal, great pedal. It's like a Nobles. This is a XTS tonic distortion, and it's kind of like, I think it's like that kind of Maxon version of the Tube Screamer that everybody likes, but those are kind of tweaky. So this is kind of like smoothed out some of that stuff. One of my favorite lead pedals. It's just got such a cool mid-range but smooth gain. It's really an amazing pedal. And then I have the Archer, the Jeff pedal. So this is it's like a Klon style pedal, but it's the Jeff Beck mod version of it, which I love too, right? So let's play each of those by themselves. Again, all these are set real low gain. That one just comes on. There's no low gain setting to the tonic. It just is full assault. And then the Archer. Now, the cool thing is, I'm not a huge typical Klon fan. And supposedly the 83 drive is pretty close to a original Klon circuit, so maybe I am. I don't know. I mean, for years I was like, yeah, Klon schmon. I had one, I got rid of it, I wasn't into it. But maybe I'm coming around. I don't know. But the cool thing about having two Klon style pedals is the Archer one, the EQ is different. So you get, well, check it out. I'll just show you. So watch this. Right, so if you want that real barky kind of mid just assault, it's great for leads, stuff like that. It's kind of cool to have two different Klon style pedals. Now, I do believe they make a pedal, Nordvang does, that is two of the Klon type circuits on one pedal, but I think it's out of stock. So some of these pedals, they make limited batches of them, so they're harder to get. You can only get them when they're in stock, obviously, right? So anyways, that is with the CJ style amp, right? Or CJ style, the CJ11 amp. Now, check it out. If I were to move to a telly, let's check out what some of these things sound like combined together, right? So there's also a switch on the Nordvang that lets you decide what pedal you want to go in first. Like, do you want the Klon first or the Blues Breaker side first, or vice versa, right? And that little switch is right there in the middle. Mine is set A into B, right? So this one going into that one. So. Right, if you wanted more of a right, you can get very Hendrixy kind of stuff with just a little bit of gain on it. But check this out. So right now I'm on the Klon style side. Now what happens when I mix it with like the Wampler belt? Okay, so what I like, right? So check it out again. Here's by itself, nothing on, just the amp. So you got mids and like highs starting to come in. It sounds freaking great. Now check it out, when I put in the Wampler bell, it adds another layer of kind of amp-like distortion, but it smooths it out a little bit. So it still has the high, but it kind of isn't right there in your face right in the beginning. It has the high, but it's a little rounded off, a little bump. Right, but there's gain on the amp, there's a boost and a drive, and it's still super clear. So maybe let's try what the bell and the Blues Breaker side sound like together. so good. Right, so that is the tonic mixed with the Klon style, right? So maybe. So now I'm going to do the blues breaker side into the Archer Jeff pedal, right? And this is more just like a rock and roll kind of, you know, straight ahead. I wouldn't necessarily say it's martially, but it's definitely more of that kind of driven amp. Maybe like a Bassman, right? Cranked up. But I mean, consider we're playing with the telly, right? So there's definitely, you definitely could be in that, you know, hard rock territory or just full out rock. Hadn't had enough coffee yet. My fingers are still saying, nah, not yet, not yet. So anyways, so freaking cool with, I mean, it's amazing by itself, but with other pedals, I mean, it's just like the full team player. So on its own, it's probably my MVP pedal at this point. Like one and done. I could have that, my Strymon Flint pedal and a delay and be done at a gig because I get a killer boost pedal and a killer drive pedal, which is all I ever use anyways. But if I had like a cover gig and I needed to cover a lot of, pun intended, cover a lot of different kind of distortions and tonal variations, and I needed to have other drives, it plays so good with other pedals too. So I could have that Nobles kind of a sound, which is already a great amp, like distortion on my pedal platform, little CJ11 amp, and then kick on the Klon side and just have a killer country lead or, you know, Tom Petty style lead. Or I could do the same thing, keep the Nobles type pedal on and kick on the Blues Breaker side and go full Judas Priest, right? Such a good pedal. I can't recommend it enough. It's not the cheapest pedal on earth, but I'll tell you what, so worth it. Like you will not be bummed at all. So freaking good. So before we end this video, let's change amps once again and go Marshall with the humbucker and then see what some cool sounds we can get that way. All right, so I totally made a mistake. Earlier I said the settings for the Marshall were a 412 punch cab. It actually wasn't. I was filming a course with another instructor over here, and I realized he changed all my aux settings. So now it is a 412 punch cab and a 57 and a 160, where I think he had like a 212, 421, and a 121 maybe, ribbon mic, I don't know, something like that. But now we got, if we kick off all this stuff, these EVH guitars, they're so good. So if you want to check out guitars like this and all my equipment except for the Divided by 13 and the Marshall, of course, it is in the Sweetwater affiliate link down below. Check out the gear there. It helps the channel a little bit if you get something there. The Nordvang pedal, I will leave the info down below. You guys have got to check this pedal out. Again, we've had some classic rock tones, pettyish kind of stuff, country kind of stuff. Now, let's see what we can do for like hard rock stuff, because man, this pedal just rips for hard rock as well. So check this out. I added one pedal. It's an exotic RC booster. I don't have the overhead pedal cam shot anymore, but I'm gonna use that and the clon side of the 83 drive. They're set exactly the same. So they're both have their gain at 9 o'clock. The treble on both pedals is at 1, and the output on both pedals is at 1 as well. And the RC booster has a little bit of the bass taken off. So check this out. Bass Marshall tone. RC booster. And if I add the clon side, do all that at like 20 freaking 3 years old or however old he was. It was just like, whatever, dude. So check out little Panama. So it does great for all that kind of stuff. So if you had cover gigs or whatever, and you got to cover a huge amount of tones, it really does everything from, you know, country to hard rock, classic rock. Definitely can nail all of the, you know, Tom Petty kind of stuff. It just really is kind of a one size fits all pedal, and it sounds great with every single kind of amp I've tried it with, right? Whether it's like a Tweed Deluxe type of circuit or a Marshall circuit or, you know, standard Fender. I have something that's kind of like a Vox, a JRT 915 by Divided by 13. It's got EL84s. It sounds fantastic with that. A lot of times pedals that are kind of mid-centric have a really hard time or don't sound good with that kind of AC30 format. This thing sounds fantastic with that. It even sounds killer if I, added the other side. I can add 3 pedals, right? So I could add the RC booster, the Klon side, and the Blues Breaker side, and it's still kind of controllable as far as not running away. I mean, the Marshall's cranked up too, so, and it doesn't get all crazy and super feedbacky and everything. So check this out. I'll go like little rat mode and go full hard rock. But it still stays together really well, and then it is great for really singing lead kind of solos as well. So I got 3 pedals on again. Totally controllable. It's not out of control. So again, I mean, it's kind of the MVP pedal in my opinion. It sounds great with all sorts of amp circuits. It sounds great for all styles of music, and it plays really, really well with other pedals. So if you got that cover gig and you're covering everything from Petty to Guns N' Roses, it's gonna be awesome because it really works great with other pedals too. I put it in the front of my chain, so it's the first pedal in my chain, and then I put all the stuff after that. You can see the overhead pedal shots, kind of how I have everything set up, and I have the 2 boost pedals, the other 2 boost pedals, the RC Booster and the Archer at the end, right? So I have the Klon at the very top of the chain, and then into the Blues Breaker, into the Bell, Tonic, RC Booster, Archer. And to me, it just sounds great that way. And then that way, if you want to hit the front of that Blues Breaker, or say I'm on the Wampler Bell and I'm doing a country song or something like that, and then I want to boost it for a lead, that Klon style of the 83 drive is just, it's killer. I mean, it cuts. It's just a really fantastic pedal. Now, there's a lot of great demos of guys using it, again, in other ways. Here, I'm just using it the way I would use it at a gig. But if you want to see the inside of the pedal and all the features and all that stuff, Brett Kingman does a really great demo of the video, and there's a few other guys that do a really, really great job of going through all the features one by one and showing you really what the pedal is capable of. I just wanted to give you a different kind of, opinion and a different way to use it, and the fact that it does really work so good with other pedals. So, thank you once again for checking everything out. If you want to support the channel, everything you see here is supported by brettpapa.com. That is my website where I teach you how to play guitar better. If you want to solo better, solo melodically, play like Hendrix, work on your rhythm playing, all that kind of stuff is there. I also have some fantastic guest instructors there too. We got Tim Pierce, Corey Congilio, Jeff McErlane, Robbie Calvo, all these different great players to help really round you out as a player. So if you want to get serious about guitar and really take your playing to the next level, check out brettpapa.com. And then also the Sweetwater affiliate links down below. They do help the channel out as well. You can get this fantastic freaking guitar here. And then honestly, everything else I use to record, from interfaces to the Apollos to my monitors to the lavs, the mics, everything else I use in this whole setup, I get there. So check that out as well. It's an awesome, awesome place, killer customer service. You guys are amazing. Thank you, thank you, thank you so much for the continued support. We'll catch you next time.